Well, hello. Welcome to another video here on Lissa's Raw Food Romance. My name is Lissa, and I've been following a raw vegan diet since 2014. Today, we are answering a question that I got on Instagram. This person asks, Lissa, do you think eating some cooked vegan food after being raw for a while, but then returning to raw after, stunts your progress as a raw vegan? So I'm going to share a few of my thoughts on that in this video. Thank you ever so much for joining me here today. If you enjoy videos like this, you know what to do. Click like, subscribe, click the bell if you want to get notifications sent to you whenever I post a new video, and head on down to the description box below because we have the link for our school community, which is celebrating its 1 year anniversary this month. So we have it on sale. 30% off. Instead of paying $47 a month, you only pay $33 a month to be part of it, or $349 a year if you want to pay for the year in advance. It saves you a little extra, even on top of all of that. So join up the community. We have so much fun in there. Live raw food classes. You get to watch all the replays, join the monthly challenges with daily posts, get some connection, community, encouragement, support, accountability, all of that stuff is in the community. So again, it's the 1 year anniversary, and I just celebrated my 11-year raw vegan anniversary. So September is a very special month. That's why we have the community on sale for you to join us and have some fun over there. We also have 40% off any or all of our raw vegan recipe ebooks. The code for that is rawfood40 at checkout, and you can find that link down below as well for our ebooks. So today's question is, Lissa, do you think eating some cooked vegan food after being raw for a while, but then returning to raw after, stunts your progress as a raw vegan? So I do not have an answer for this because there's a zillion factors that come into play. What kind of cooked food are you eating? How often have you been eating that cooked food? How processed has it been? What percentage of your diet has been cooked food, and what types of cooked food? How long were you raw before? And how long have you been eating the cooked food before you go back to eating raw? There are so many questions that I would have somebody for this. But overall, generally, again, it depends on where you're coming from. What are your circumstances? But I don't think that the cooked food is necessarily going to stunt your progress as a raw vegan. When you eat the cooked food, yes, your gut microbiome changes and you may feel different. Some people feel more lethargic, they feel less energetic, they might experience older symptoms returning. But if you go back to raw, it just takes some time for your gut to readjust to the higher amount of fiber or the different fiber varieties that you start to include back. I don't think that it stunts your progress, though. I think that it can be looked at as a speed bump. And some people will add cooked food and still eat a really high raw diet, and they feel fine. I think that there's a lot of fear around cooked foods, and there are some people who say it's poison, and I don't agree with that. It really depends on what you're eating. Obviously, highly ultra processed foods are not ideal for us, and we all know that. But when things like steamed broccoli or a boiled sweet potato that you have in a big raw salad are demonized, and they're, put in the same basket as Doritos chips or, like super highly processed candies or foods that you can buy, convenience stuff, super salty, super oily. They're not the same. They are definitely not the same. So not all cooked food is equal. There are some really awesome options if you are going to have cooked food in your life. Boiling and steaming are your best options. These keep the temperature down to around 212 Fahrenheit. And so, chemical reactions don't necessarily change as much. You might lose some nutritional value in the water or in the steam, or like it's boiled out or what have you. But when you start reaching temperatures of 248 degrees Fahrenheit and above, so if you're baking, broiling, grilling, roasting, frying, all of those things, anything above 248 degrees Fahrenheit is going to start to make chemical changes in your food. And the higher you go, the more of those changes happen. And I know John Kohler made a video about this. If I have a moment, I will post the link to his video in the description box below so you can go watch it, where he was talking about how they did a study where they studied the different levels of acrylamide toxin in omnivores, vegans, and raw vegans. And the vegans had the highest level of acrylamide in their bodies. The raw vegans had almost none because they don't cook their food. The omnivores had kind of in the middle because they ate some, foods that had acrylamide. But starches turn into acrylamide at higher heats. So the higher you're heating your food at, the more of these chemicals, these food toxins are created. And there's also been evidence that proteins fuse together when they're higher heats. So you're not actually using the amino acids properly. They're fused together. You can't break them apart to use them in your own body. So there are some questions when it comes to what type of cooked food you're eating. But I think if you're going to have steamed broccoli or sweet potato in a big raw salad, I mean, that's not going to be as challenging to go back to all raw than it would be if you were eating Beyond Burgers and fried potatoes and convenience foods and things like that, and you weren't eating as much raw. So it'll be a little bit harder to get back to raw because your gut microbiome changes. And that's where some people have challenges when they go from a standard North American diet, even if it's vegan, and they move over to raw. They're going from maybe 15 grams of fiber, which is the average amount of fiber that the average person is consuming in a day, 15 to 18 grams a day. The RDA is 30. So, I'd say 95% of the population is only eating 15 to 18 grams a day. You move from 15 to 18 grams a day or less for some people to 80 grams a day, which is what Nate and I eat on a lower day. We eat 80 to 100 grams or more of fiber a day. If you move from that to that, yeah, your gut is going to be nope, that's way too much fiber. You have to go slow. Let your gut adjust, let your gut grow so that it can deal with that fiber. So that would probably be the one thing that I would say might take some time, depending on what type of cooked food you've been eating, how much of it you've been eating, for how long have you been eating, how much raw have you been eating with that cooked food. All of those are going to play a role in determining how you get back to raw and how you can incorporate more. But just go slow with yourself. Don't beat yourself up for choosing those other things. Today is the very first day of your new life. So if you are going back to raw, just go slowly. Take your time and work back up to where you were. Work your gut microbiome back to a stronger level, and just be patient with yourself. And again, I can't stress this enough. Don't feel guilty and don't feel discouraged or that you suck or that you're not good enough because you fell off raw or what have you. Take your time and just enjoy every day as it is, going slow if you need to, listening to your gut. Everybody's gut microbiome is different. So, someone can go dive right back into raw and be just fine, and other people might need some time. So just do it at your own pace and don't compare yourself to anybody else. So thank you for asking this question. It was a really good one. And I hope that encourages someone else out there who may have been falling off a little bit of the raw to get back, onto more raw. Again, you don't have to be a 100% pure and perfect raw vegan. It's all about adding more raw to wherever you feel comfortable and embracing more of it and doing it because you want to, doing it because you want to have that fiber and the hydration and all of that in your diet, and to feel that amazingness that you get from eating raw plants. So yeah, I hope this inspires somebody out there. And in honor of our 1-year anniversary for having our school community, we have it on sale, 30% off. Instead of $47 a month, it's only $33 a month, or $3.49 a year. If you pay for the year in advance, you still get a little even more discount if you do that. But that's where we do our live raw food classes. We have all the replays to all the previous classes for the past year in there. So if you join at $33 a month, you can watch all of those. They're all available for you in there. We've got the Align and Awaken Affirmation Meditation Challenge in there. There's monthly challenges that we do every month with daily posts. There's community, connection, encouragement, support, accountability. It's a great place. So we hope to see you in there. And in celebration of the 11 years raw that I just had, that is what we are doing right now. So 30% off the community is available to you. And we also have 40% off any of our ebooks. So if you wanted to get our recipes like the sushi, the wraps, the burgers, the tostadas and tacos, salads and smoothies and meal plans and soups and curries and all kinds of stuff, 40% off code is rawfood40 at checkout. And the link is payhip.com/rawfoodromance. But you can find everything in the description box below. So head on down there and check them all out. And thank you again for joining me for this video. If you liked it, please click like. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel. And we will be back next week for another video. Until then, I love you so much and fruit on.